Okay, in this module, my goal here is to really rewire your brain a little bit when it comes to getting no's in network marketing. We talked about this on the previous module about getting rid of the emotional attachment, about even going for no. And in this module, I'm going to illustrate how you actually get paid for every no. And if you go through enough numbers, you actually get paid a lot for every no. And before I kind of go through the numbers on that, what I want to do is I'm going to give you a hypothetical job. And in your mind, I just want you to be really honest with me whether you would take this job or not. Now, here is the offer. If I offered you a job and you had to work 5 days a week, you got, 2 weeks vacation a year, and here's what your job description was to go show a 30-minute presentation. You got to go show a 30-minute presentation, and then you've got to, answer questions and things like that. So you got to show a 30-minute presentation to a minimum of 2 people per day, 5 days a week. And if you're willing to do that, you can work your own hours. I'm going to pay you $500 for each presentation. Now, you can do as many as you want, but you have to do at least 2 per day. Now, that's a minimum of $1,000 every day, minimum of $365,000 a year. So you can make more if you want. If you wanted to go make $2,000 a day, then obviously you can double that income. And so that's the job offer. And you can work your own hours. So if you want to wake up early, you want to go, hit the streets at 8 a.m., and you can be done by 10 or 11 o'clock and then have the rest of the day off, you can do that. If you want to sleep till noon, you can, sleep till noon, get up, go work in the afternoons, and, you can do that. If you want to hang out at the beach all day or hang out at the lake all day and, then work nights, you can do that. But you have to do 2 a day. And here's the key, is a couple caveats, is if you miss one day, you're fired. You can never go show another presentation. If you miss one day, 5 days a week, you're fired. Now, the other caveat is this. You cannot talk to anyone you know. You can't go to your friends and say, hey, I'm going to make money, doing this. And you can't pay people, you can't say, hey, I'll pay you $100 in order to watch this presentation. You can't do that. You're going to be filmed or whatever. You're going to be recorded. So you can't cheat the system. So you've got to go out and cold contact. You got to go meet at Starbucks or, go downtown. You got to stop people, and you got to somehow figure out how to get at least 2 people a day to see a 30-minute presentation. And if you can do that, if you can break out of your comfort zone enough to go show 2 people a day, you're going to make $365,000. You're going to make $1,000 every single day. Now, that puts you in the top 1% income earners in the world. I mean, top 1% of 1% really in the world. I mean, you are making a ton of money, right? So would you take that job? And I've done this with audiences all over the world, and every time I ask it, guess what? Every hand raises. Everyone would take that job. Why? Because, you'd be willing to get out of your comfort zone. You'd be willing to just walk up to people, start a conversation, build rapport, get them to sit down for, 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes to see a presentation. You'd be willing to do whatever it takes to get out of your comfort zone if you could make that happen. Work your own hours. I mean, you're working 2-3 hours a day. I mean, maybe a little bit longer if it takes you a while to get people to sit down and look. But, at most, you're working a few hours a day to make a minimum of $1,000. You could go make $2,000 or $3,000 a day if you want. Anyone would take that job. So I'm assuming if you're listening to my words and if you're honest with me, you'd say yes to that. You would take that job. Now, what I want to do is now I want to relate that to network marketing. And I want to show you how anyone would take that job. But in network marketing, it actually works out to be a lot better than that. And so here's how it works out to be better. And I've talked to different leaders in different companies. I've been part of multiple companies over the years. And so I'm going to give you my company's statistics. Our top rank averages over $500,000 a year, over $500,000 a year. Now, there's a lot of other companies that, might be a little more, might be a little less, things like that. But, in most companies, top rank, top, level in the company is going to be at least $500,000, right? And within our company, in fact, I asked the programmers this, one of the programmers one day, I said, the top rank in our company, how many people have they personally enrolled to get to that, rank? Well, the answer was right around 55 people. So 55. Now, assuming a 1 out of 5 closing ratio, in order to go get 55 personals, if you enrolled 1 out of 5 people or 20%, that means you got to go show 275 people. And that means you got to get 220 people to say no. And again, in the job offer that I offered you, notice I didn't put any caveats on they have to say yes, say no, any of that. Doesn't matter if they say yes, doesn't matter if they say no, you get that job. And so, in network marketing, 1 out of 5 ratio, to get 55, you show 275, you get 220 people in. Now, here's how this worked out. And with our numbers, and this is going to be consistent among most companies, is to get to that $500,000 mark, it's going to be about the same, depending on the company that you're in. Top leaders, typically it's going to be they've enrolled 50, 60 people, something like that. If they've done it in a short amount of time frame, it's going to, their numbers are going to be better, obviously. But here's how it works out. If you do the math, $550,000 per year is our top income level. And if you back out the numbers, every exposure, if you do $550,000 divided by 275, you earn about $2,000 for every exposure. And here's what's interesting. Out of those exposures, you have 220 that say no. If you do the math there, you divide 550,000 by 220, you actually get $2,500 every time someone tells you no. And see, part of the reason why I'm willing to go through the no's, it doesn't bother me. I've learned to get over the fear of rejection because I know these numbers work out. I've been doing it 20 years. I've got the faith. I just know that's how it is. That's why network marketing, in my mind, is the greatest financial vehicle in the world because the numbers do work out to be like this. Now, it's not the best financial vehicle in the world for people who aren't willing to go through it. They're not willing to go through the no's, but if you're willing to go through the no's, if you're willing to break out of your comfort zone, if you're willing to go contact people, if you're willing to do the things that are proven to work, you got the best financial vehicle in the world. I mean, $2,000 for every exposure that you do, and guess what? Even if it were only $1,000, even if it were only $500, network marketing still works out to be way better than the job that I offered you. Why? Because it's not a one-time payment. It's not a one-time payment. It's a residual income. See, you can't even calculate, how much money do you make for each person that you put in. You can't calculate it because as they duplicate year after year after year, the money keeps coming in. And so it's actually better than this. It's a residual income. You can take a week off. You can take weeks off at a time. Again, if you're going through the numbers. Now, I'm not talking about recruiting over the internet. If you're enrolling people and you never talk to them at all, you're going to have to go through a lot more numbers. In fact, a network marketing company that I owned, we had people who personally enrolled over 1,000 people, but they never talked to anyone, and they had very little duplication. They made less money than the people who went out and enrolled 50. So I'm talking here about doing it the right way. If you're doing it, without building relationships, which is really contrary to the whole basis behind, why network marketing works, then you're going to have to go through a lot of numbers. The numbers are not going to work out like this, but this is why I am so excited consistently about network marketing. This is why I know, drop me in any city in the world, I know I'm at 6 figures within a year because I'm going to go through and I'm going to get 220 no's really, really fast. I don't care. I'm just going to go stop people. I'm going to go compliment them, ask for their phone number, sit down with them, give them a presentation. And I'm going to do that multiple times a day because I know the numbers work out. And if I go through the numbers, I've got the lifestyle that I dream about. It's how I've been able to create the lifestyle that I have is because I know these numbers numbers work. Now, here's what's going to hold you back. It's being afraid of the no's. That's what will guarantee that you become a failure. And so here's what I want you to do. I want to rewire your brain here. So next time you get a no, now you know you should have certainty. You get paid regardless. You get paid for the yeses, you get paid for the no's. And so if you're getting paid for the no's, when someone says, no, I don't have the money, no, I don't have the time, and those deals don't work, whatever they say in your mind, you just say cha-ching. You just made money. In fact, if you're willing to go through enough numbers, it can work out to be $2,000 every time you get rejected or more. You know, if I look at my numbers of what I've done to create the income I have now, I'm getting paid way more. It worked out to be about $7,500 in residual income for every no that I got in my company. So what do you think what goes through my mind when someone says no? Do I have any care in the world? Do I take any emotional stake in that? Not at all. I look at it like, cha-ching, I just got paid. So when you go get a no, cha-ching. When someone says, I don't have the money, cha-ching. When someone says, those deals don't work, cha-ching. When they say you're going to jail, cha-ching. Whatever it is they say, cha-ching. You get paid. So here's the only thing standing between you and greatness. The only thing standing between you and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. The only thing standing between you and being able to take exotic vacations all around the world, sending your kids to the best schools money can buy, being able to donate money to any charity you want as much as you want. What holds you back? The one thing is this. It's 220 no's. You got to be willing to just go out and get 220 no's, and if you do that, the numbers will work out. The numbers don't work out if you go get 10 no's. They don't work out if you go get 5 no's or 20 no's. You got to go get a bunch of no's. The statistical averages have to take effect. And so go out and get yourself 220 no's. Here's part of my homework. For this module, my homework is that you go out and create a spreadsheet. Pull up an Excel document, pull up some kind of spreadsheet, and at the top, I just want you to put 220 no's to freedom. 220 no's to freedom. And I want you to just tape that to your wall, put it in your planner, have it where you're going to see it on a daily basis. And when people tell you no, what are you going to do? Write their name down. You know, just put their name down, and you can even put on the side, hey, this is why they said no. And what happens is, if you do that, you're going to win, and it's just going to be amusing for you because you're going to have all the reasons why, people said no. And I'd encourage you, hey, even keep a record of that, because when you're traveling around the world, when you're in the Greek Isles, you're doing a cruise around the Greek Isles, you can send a little picture, hey, that thing that you said didn't work, it's working pretty good. When you're, sitting at the Eiffel Tower in Paris, send them a picture, send them a little text message. Hey, that thing you said didn't work. It's working pretty good. Just go out and get the no's and stop caring about what other people think. And here's the deal. If you are not traveling around the world, if you're not living the life that you really want to live in 5 years, I'm going to tell you the biggest reason that you're not living that life is because you weren't willing to just get out of your comfort zone and go get the no's. So go for no, my friend.